Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Burn the Ship, the podcast that inspires entrepreneurs to go all in and connects them with professionals that can help them do it.
Yes, today's guests are Juliana and Lorena with Reach Chiropractic. So thank y'all for coming. I'm excited. I was talking about it all week. I was excited for y'all to come in.
Thanks for having us.
Here.
Yes, I wanted y'all to meet everyone because I know that y'all know, Roderick, you've heard of Amanda, and now you know Kellie.
Yes, and now we've seen the new space, which is awesome.
Yes.
You guys have really grown.
Yes, well, thank you.
Yeah.
So, first tell us where y'all located. How did you get to where you're at, and where'd you go to school?
Sure. So we are we have a chiropractic practice in Kennesaw, right off of Barrett Parkway. We went to Life University. We're 2 years apart. We're sisters. We're 2 years apart. So I graduated, got a job as a intern doc or exam doc while she was finishing up, and then we knew we wanted to open a practice together. So as soon as I was offered an opportunity at the other office, it was like, okay, time to make some tough decisions. Do I want to move forward and, have the security and the confidence of really having somebody back me up, or do I want to go all in? And we went all in.
Yeah.
I gave my 2 weeks notice.
It's really funny because we actually took a family trip to Spain, and then I was a year away from graduating. She was still working as an intern at this but by then you were an associate, I guess.
Yeah.
And I sat her down and I was like, listen, we have this dream of opening a practice together. We've always talked about it, and we're either going to go all in or we're not. And if we are going to go all in, we need to start planning like now. So that week, which we're a year out, we came up with the name Reach Chiropractic because we wanted to reach the community and make an impact. And then we started creating a business plan, started looking for a spot, and then we found, we wanted to stay in Kennesaw because we grew up in this area. And then we started coming up with the money. We don't know still how we came up with the money of opening a practice. But, when you have a dream and you want to do it, you just kind of like pave the way, and you just...
And the trip was in April, beginning of April, spring break. So I came back in, gave my 2 week notice at my job, and I think we did burn the ship.
Literally.
And then, so that was April. By September, we signed a lease. December, our build out was ready. And that February, we had our ribbon cutting. So it was really
awesome.
Just boom, boom, boom. Yeah.
And y'all did a lot of the work yourself, right? I saw pictures. I was helping you with your slides, and I didn't know that. It looks great.
We you don't have a lot of money. We didn't take out a business loan. So we came up with $20,000 to do this build out, and our space is around 1,300 square feet. So we literally had to come up with ways to do it on our own. So I think not backsplash, whatever that's called.
The wall behind our front desk.
Accent wall?
Yeah, we painted that ourselves, and then everything else, we bought a lot of the frames in our office, from Facebook Marketplace, and we just made it happen. And then
we hung shelves. We did as much as we could.
You did the labor, so you didn't have to pay the labor costs.
Absolutely. And we had a great contractor too. We were very upfront. We're like, okay, this is how much we have. This is what we don't know how to do. Can you help us get to where we need to so we can open? And then there were things that he's like, okay, I'm not going to do this because you guys can figure this out. So it was really good. We had great communications. We set the expectations right up front. And he knew, that once we ran out of money, we ran out of money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So he worked with us. He guided us, put us in connection with the right people, what we had to do, and that was it.
Yeah, and then when you open a business, and I guess every business owner knows this, you can't just open the door and expect people to come in. And so we had our ribbon cutting, but we were already out there in the community shaking hands, kissing babies.
Yep.
And so that year, it's interesting because February we had our ribbon cutting, but I was still in school and I didn't actually graduate till June. So that I was doing both. I was running a business and trying to wrap up school. So I was literally burning the candle at both ends, it felt like. And so, and then, but, you want something, you work hard, you put in the effort, it pays off. If you
And we were networking while we were doing our build out. We didn't even wait until, we had a building. We started networking right away. It was awful at first. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, because we felt like babies. We felt like we had no idea what we're doing.
But once we started and we told people what we were doing, and we were very honest. We're like, listen, this is our first networking experience. We don't know what to expect. People really just take you under their wings, and they're like, this is what you should do. This is the next meet. So as long as you're out there and sharing your dream and your passion,
too when you
they admire it. Other business professionals, other entrepreneurs, they admire what you're doing because they've done it.
Right.
So it was a fun experience.
They respect the grind.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. So what would you guys say with growing your business? What has been the most important skill that you've learned that you would recommend to these up and coming entrepreneurs that are listening to us? What's one of the biggest things?
Oh my gosh. We've learned that change is constant. So you cannot get attached to anything, because you need to change all the time.
Be able to
Adapt.
Yeah.
Adapt. That's like the one constant is that you have to change. Like you have to grow, you have to innovate. And literally, I think our office, our systems and procedures in there is literally changing every quarter. And then also, you have to learn how to be a good leader, because at some point you're either leading your community, you're leading a team in your office, or you are at some point leading somebody. And so you have to learn how to lead and be able to respect and listen. You should listen to criticism when it's given with good intention. And I think that that's been the one thing, like especially for me, because I was always very
stubborn,
hard-headed. Yeah, and we've had a few team members that I didn't really get along with, and it was difficult learning process to lead with love. And I think if you have a team that is not going where you need to, they're not doing the thing that you want or whatever, responding, it's always on you. If you're not growing, if your business is not growing, it's always on you. So that is I think that's the one thing I learned the most is taking ownership of the things that go well, but also the things that go wrong. It's never anybody else's fault. It's all on you.
And I think we've also learned that, I say this to Juliana all the time, that, don't try to make fetch work. If it's not working, we need to let it go.
That's funny.
So I tell her all the time, like, not working. You got to be okay with letting go. And that comes with patience, with clients, with other people you partner up with. It is not our job to convince anybody of doing anything with us. Our job is to just share the passion, educate on what we do, and move on.
Serve.
And serving. And that's been true with our team too. There are certain things that we're like, okay, it's not happening. Even tasks and roles that we need them to work on, that we need to take a step back and just be like, okay, we got to reassess, because this isn't their calling. It's just not going to work. And then being a small business, when you start out, you can't afford to pay them, what they think they're worth. And some people are worth, $50 an hour, but you're not there because you're just opening up. So they need to support you and see the passion behind what you do and want to be there, because when you think about it, they could go work at Starbucks and probably make about the same amount of money, as long as they support you and they're behind the mission. So knowing the mission, what the purpose of your business is, and just living that out, that's how you build
and it's
that
funny
team
because
with you.
we actually, when we opened, we didn't know what our mission was. We actually and I think your mission, it's okay if you don't come up with it right off the bat, right? Because it should be something that really means something to you. So we've actually...
And it can evolve.
It evolves, yeah, because you evolve and you adapt. So we actually worked on our mission, I think, for almost 2 years.
Yeah.
And we finally have our mission down. And it's true to our core, our values, who we are. And now before every team meeting, we say one of our team members say it. And so it is ingrained in us. And so you walk that out all day throughout the office when you're meeting people. And for us, knowing your mission and just living out your mission, it makes sure that you stay on focus and keeps you on task.
Because at the end of the day, there's so many decisions that you got to make, right? And we went through this, that you get decision burnout. just even if it's tiny little things, like should I buy this kind of paper or another, but it adds up throughout the day. But when you know what your core values are and what your mission is, the question is this going to push me towards the mission? Yes or no? The decision gets easier. So then it just becomes, it's just default. Right off the bat, exactly. Oh, well, it's not going to push me forward. Not going to move, not going to spend the time, the money, the energy on that. And that's rough.
Do you guys mind sharing with our listeners what your mission statement is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So our mission is to reach our community, helping them reach their God-given healing potential through neurologically based chiropractic care.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
And we say that literally every morning.
Every morning. And it's always, okay, are we serving? Are we serving out of abundance? Are we doing this out of love? And it's just, it gets easier and it makes work fun. Yeah.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
for sure.
So you guys definitely got out of school and went right into this. What made you want to be a chiropractor?
So
what's the backstory there?
Okay.
So I'll be quick.
Sounds like a good story.
It's a good story, but
it's not that good of a story. It's just that she knew what she wanted to do. I'm the little sister, and so it's funny because my little cousin, actually asked me this the other day, and he's like, "How did you know you wanted to be a chiropractor?" And I was like, "That's a great
Because
question."
Lorena
I
knew.
would be like that. I actually had no idea what I wanted to be, but I'm so grateful that my path is chiropractic. Like, I'm grateful that you knew what you wanted to do, and I just followed.
It's okay because now I follow her on her thing. So
So then, how did you know?
So I knew I wanted to be in healthcare, and I wanted to work with families, and I wanted to work with kids. So in high school, I thought I wanted to be a pediatrician. I had no idea what chiropractic did, I had no idea what they did. And then my senior year, we dissected a pig, and we were learning the nervous system. And I was just in awe. I was just like, oh my gosh, I love this. I love the brain, the spinal. I know, it's weird.
I love looking at dead pigs.
I know, it's weird. So I walked up to our teacher and I asked her, I was like, hey, is there a profession? And she told me, she pretty much said chiropractic. So it's funny because she knew chiropractic from our mission and not just pain. So she told me to tour Life University, and I did. I fell in love. I filled out the application on the spot. But up until then, I thought I was just going to do chiropractic. You get so busy in the books and, what you got to do that I forgot about the nervous system and really the power of the body, and our mom was diagnosed with something called trigeminal neuralgia, and she went through multiple doctors trying to find pain relief. The AKA for trigeminal neuralgia is the suicide disease because the pain is so severe. It'll cause patients to have suicide thoughts. Yeah. So the last resort was brain surgery. So she was already talking to neurosurgeons. They were going to open up, snip that nerve. But there's a very, very high risk of losing sensation and then motion on the side that they operate on, because they can also cut the wrong branch of the nerve. And one of our colleagues told us she should try a neurologically based chiropractor. And we were like, what? So we were very early on in school, and she did. And it absolutely changed her life. And this was about 13, 14 years ago. I saw my mom's life go from a spectator, just watching, and actually being a participant in our lives, because she had to take a step back. She was just in so much pain. She didn't have quality of life, and it changed her life. It wasn't an instant. It was a process. But that was when we knew, okay, this is our mission. The public, the community, they need to know the power of chiropractic. And that's exactly what we do now. Our practice is a family practice. So we start off with telling every single person, you need to be proactive. You can't wait until something happens before you start taking a look at your, just like your bank account, your finances, your health. Got to be proactive. And then you need to make sure that you do something about it. You respect the natural process of things. And we see lives being changed every single day. I get to have, so my sister married another chiropractor who is also in the office with us. So we're all family. My kids are in the office from time to time.
And
My
I've heard
husband
that he keeps y'all in line with your
yeah,
Starbucks obsession, is what I've heard so many times.
As we're drinking Starbucks.
He was like, when I started there with them, he's like, when I got there, the amount that they used to spend on Starbucks before I stopped them was ridiculous.
It's gotten better. It's gotten better.
Yeah, it's still
Hashtag
pretty
not
ridiculous.
sponsored by Starbucks.
Yeah. I know, as like the Cubs. We're getting better.
funny.
We're getting there.
Not until we get paid for it.
That's right.
No free promo.
Turn this around. Just another cup.
Yeah, just a plain cup. But he's definitely an asset to the practice.
Huge
Yeah.
asset because we're both free spirits, and I don't know if you guys are familiar with Dave Ramsey, and he describes there's two different types of people. There's the nerds and then there's the free spirits. The nerds are the ones that love to look at spreadsheets and numbers and loves to be analytical budget. And then there's the free spirits, which are the spenders.
Yeah.
Both me and Lorena are spenders. So when we first started, we didn't have a budget. We just if there was money in the account, we'd spend it. If there wasn't, we'd panic and then just wait for there to be money. We didn't even have a CPA. But then John Michael
came along.
Thank God. And he so he graduated. We dated for a year while he was still in school, and then he joined us a year later. He came in and he was he looked at our books and he's like, "This is a mess." And we're like, "Hey, we stayed
a file
open."
folder with a whole bunch of receipts in it, and
we're like, "Listen,
isn't that what you
we've made it
do?
this far.
It's working." Yeah.
And so, but he has kind of fixed everything, and he loves doing it. So it's great because her and I can be the heart and serve and just love on people, and he can keep us on task. Hey, it's still a business at the end of the day. You can't just go on feeling.
So he's the nerd.
He's 100% the nerd, and he's proud of it.
Even now, we left the office. We were supposed to be there early to work on files,
I was
and
there early.
Today?
But you weren't working on files.
I wasn't working on files.
Yeah, and we both walked in. I grabbed files, but I didn't work on any of them. And then it was time to leave, so I put it back. But
Procrastination.
yeah, a little bit. But we're such passion and relationship people.
Oh, yes.
My strengths are. We just took our Strength Finders test. My strengths are empath, harmony, belief, positivity, and developer. So there's
I can totally
nothing,
see that.
Yeah, so there's nothing analytical, which is John Michael's first one. That's
He's
my number 35.
Deliberative too.
Yeah.
So he's very deliberative. Is that a word? Yeah. And analytical.
Yeah.
Mine is 30. My
number
strength
30.
number 30 is empath, which I'm not very empath, which is great that she's the empath in between the three of us, because me and John Michael have no, if she says she's sick, we're just drink some water, girl.
Yeah.
And if one of us is sick, we know to go to Lorena to get some sympathy.
Like the mom of the office.
Yes, 100%.
I'm all let's go rest. Go get a little bit of sun outside. And with the two of them, if I say, I'm man, I'm really drained. I don't know if it's the lights. And they're like, well, I've been here since 5 a.m. And it's I wasn't competing, guys. I was just working for a little. So now I was you know what? Forget it. I'm just going to go outside.
That's great.
But yeah, we balance
take care of
each other.
you.
I do. And you. And
Yeah.
John Michael. We also tap in and tap out, literally tap in and tap out, depending on what the conversations are or what the issues that need to be solved
in the office?
In the office, yeah.
Well, because right now I'm pregnant, and so I need a little bit more empathy.
Yeah.
And some days I'm just really tired, I'm emotional, and so John Michael will get tired of listening to it, so he literally taps her in so she can help out.
He just puts a high five hand up, and he's like, Lorena, and I'm like, I'm in. Let's switch roles, and I
that's
jump in.
great.
So we make it work.
That's awesome.
So do you guys want to stay a small family-owned business, or do you guys eventually want to expand and have multiple locations, or what's the game plan?
So
I don't think.
No, I don't think we'll ever have multiple locations. I think we will. I think one day outgrow the space. We are already kind of outgrowing the space we're in now. And then obviously our goal is to own our building and rent that out. That's just the business goal is to own our own space and, continue to grow in that sense. But for Reach and the mission of Reach, I think is to see as many families as we possibly can in the space that we're in, and then grow into a bigger space. But just keep it there, mainly because we love working together, the three of us. We don't want to split up. We don't have a desire to have multiple franchises and divide up our mental space like that.
Yeah. And I think the dynamics are just so incredible between the three of us that when one of us is not in the office, already we see a shift, right?
Yeah. So you're most valuable when you're all together.
Yep.
100%.
Absolutely.
We've just grown to really work that way together.
And we know what each other's strengths are, so we're really respectful with that, and we're also really graceful with our weaknesses. So being the three of us, it just works really well. So we don't want to be apart.
It's interesting because they tell you don't get into business with your family or your spouse,
Yeah.
and I literally went right in.
You
with both,
did both.
and it's worked out great.
Let me
I
one-up
actually
it.
highly recommend it
Yeah,
because
'cause we
there's
love
nobody
it.
else you can trust as if you have a good relationship with your family.
Yeah.
So I actually highly recommend it.
Yeah. But also our communications
Yeah.
we have really good communication.
That's awesome. So you want to play a game? We're gonna, this is our fun stuff. Even though the whole thing has been fun, but
We have Would You Rathers.
Okay.
So I'm asking this because of rattle trap. Hunt or fish?
Hunt 100%.
Have you hunted? Yeah, I know you want
Yeah.
to.
No,
Okay.
I've been with John Michael a few times. I've just never killed anything.
Can I pick neither and just watch?
You can just send your sons out to go fish because I know they love it.
So
I know they love it.
Yeah. Both require you to sit still and not talk or dance or jump or hop. So I just got to watch from the sidelines.
I forgot about the no talking part. Y'all love to talk.
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
nap. I nap
True.
on that tree stand. Like, I've had the best dreams up in the tree stand. It's great.
really
You
at
would
one
love
with
it,
nature
actually.
up there
Yeah.
before you kill a deer.
It's just very cold. But once you get past that, it's like, and then, and then your head kind of like pops a little bit.
I'll get the fire pit going. There you go.
There you go.
That's what I'll work on.
Bring your mom. I know she loves to make fires.
Absolutely.
Marchina.
Yep.
Yeah.
So then another one, would you rather read a book or watch a podcast? Or listen to a podcast?
I love podcasts.
I
That's
know.
my jam.
And I know you love books too, so
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think that if it's for personal development, podcast all the way. But if it's like vacation and you really don't want to think about anything or process or really you're not trying to learn, books. Where it's just like I'm just going to read and then I can just dump all of this before I get back to real life.
So books for pleasure,
Books.
podcast for
Yes.
education.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Great way to put it.
I love
That's
podcasts.
good, Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah, I do
It's
too.
just, like I wake up and I just get like fed into.
Yeah.
If you're
Like when me
listening-
and you were driving out to Rome, you're like, if you weren't in the car right now, I would be listening to a podcast.
Yeah, I would be
Right.
listening to like 10.
Yeah.
Which ones do you listen to?
Oh, so right now, my
Burn that
husband
shit.
and I actually like huge into bigger pockets. Pockets.
Oh, that's the one that you were telling me
Yeah,
about.
because it has to do with like real estate investing, and aside from our business, we really want to go into like real estate investing at some point, which we're already kind of dabbling into that. So we listen to that a lot. But then I also listen to a lot of Christian, like Jenny Allen, things like that. But the main one we listen to on repeat is Bigger Pockets, which I highly recommend if that's something that you're interested in. Real estate, that's huge. It's kind of changed our lives. I
Does he
think.
mainly do real estate?
Yeah, it's mainly because it is like Bigger Pockets is all about, I think, real estate. And so they interview a lot of people that have been just like regular Joes that are working, 9 to 5s, and they get into real estate and they just buy like multiple rental properties and they all of a sudden are making millions. And it's really inspiring. So they interview people like that are just like regular people like you and me that have been able to kind of develop those like the multiple forms of like passive incomes. And so they interview those kinds of people. So usually it's like that. Some of the interviews are like Jim Quick, which I also listen to that. He's like a brain guy. It's
you
so
were also
good.
telling me about that
I
one.
love him, and he just gives you tips on how to improve like brain function, brain activity,
Stimulation,
brain
all that.
like how to memorize. He can actually memorize like 75 words, like right off the bat. I don't know, whatever. But y'all should listen to Jim Quick. He's got a great podcast too.
Now we need to get sponsored by Jim Quick.
Yeah,
Right.
he's got a book out right now too.
Does
I'm
he?
not gonna plug his book in because
No.
I don't know him.
So if you guys weren't doing this, if you weren't in the chiropractic field, what else would you do?
Go
Okay,
ahead.
so I actually, it's funny because I think I would be into something probably like graphic design, something like
You know I love that.
Yeah, I love that too. And I do a lot of the things for the office, and I really enjoy it. Now that we've grown, it's become more of a burden to do it. But when we had time and we had more time in our hands, I enjoyed doing our newsletters and even running our social media. I think I would definitely thrive in that environment. But now I also can't see myself doing anything else besides chiropractic, and it's so become like who we are.
I know. I don't know what
I don't think I'll ever retire.
Yeah, same. I'd love aspects of what we do in the office, like, taking x-rays and all that stuff, but I don't think I can't see myself doing something other than that.
Right. Because you were wanting to do it for so long.
Exactly. True. I mean, we've recently remodeled our home, so I loved the part of redesigning things, not colors, not picking out. And I actually thought I was like, man, I think I would be really good. Kind of making space useful and just being like, okay, this is wasted 12 inches. Let's do something. So something like that, I think, would be a fun hobby. But I can't say that I could see myself.
I can see you being at home with your kids. You love your kids.
I do.
And that's technically
your kids are awesome.
Yeah. But they are.
I love hanging out with them.
Yeah, they're so cute.
They're really good.
Josh is the older one, right?
Yeah, so he goes to high school next year.
He's like one of these smartest. Like, he's so smart.
Yeah.
Like we do the tell me something you don't know, and I was telling him about that, and he like giving me all these facts to tell people. Right off the top of his head, I'm like, Josh, like loves
like watching documentaries, and I mean, we bond over that.
And if you have a fish question, he knows.
That's your guy.
That's like his passion.
That blows my mind how much he knows about fishing as like a 13-year-old, and he like watches the YouTube videos and he knows all about it. It blows me away.
That's true. I would love being a mom, but then I'd be tired because I love being with people too. So
you'd probably just serve at church. Look, I just figured out your life. If something if chiropractic doesn't work out for you,
if you decide to fire me on Monday,
find you a job.
You have a list of possible.
You're gonna serve at church on the weekends. Okay. Get your bucket filled, and then during the week you're gonna.
I can just stay home.
Serve your family.
Yes, because I love to clean, and she also says that she's like, every time I call you, you're cleaning something. I'm like.
She vacuums like every other day.
Absolutely.
I mean, maybe everybody does, but I don't.
No.
I don't.
Vacuuming is like a once a week thing, I feel like.
No.
I was like, maybe that's the norm.
It is multiple times a week. We're four humans and 2 dogs in the office. And then we have like...
In the office?
I mean, at the house. It's the same thing, office and house, all the same. But then they're in and out the entire time because we have French doors that open to the backyard.
Yeah.
So I just open it and then everybody's in and out, in and out. The bugs are in and out. So I got to.
Everybody has a dog that goes in and out, in and out. Anyways, moving on.
Sorry.
You like to vacuum.
I like to clean. Or I like to make them vacuum. That's better.
Yes.
So if you could tell our viewers one thing that made you burn your ship, what is the best advice that you can give them? Just to take that leap, do it, go all in, like y'all did?
I think it needs to, yes, but you need to know that you love it enough to
I was gonna say something you're passionate about.
Yes, something you have to be passionate about. And that's, for me, that's it. I don't think there's anything career-wise that I am as passionate about as chiropractic and seeing healthy families and healthy babies and seeing miracles happening that people just, they were not expecting. So that's why it was easy to burn the ship.
Yeah, and I think you burn the ship when you know for a fact that, like, this is what you want to do. It doesn't matter, like, what happens, what comes next, and you just kind of go for it. But I think that be careful to not, like, burn the bridges along the way. Like, make sure that you have mentorship. Make sure that you're prepared. Make sure you reach out. Like, do your research before. Because I've seen a lot of people also just kind of, like, blindly go into things. And it's like, is this even what you really want to do? And so I think that for us, like, we knew that that's what we wanted to do. So for us, it was a no-brainer.
But what you said about burning the bridges is really, not burning bridges is really good, because we've been in practice over 5 years right at our location. We still have mentors that we talk to on a regular basis, multiple. We go to different conferences, an average of 4 to 6 conferences a year, where we are completely submerged in chiropractic, in mission, in what we want to do,
business.
in business, all of it. So, and I don't see us stopping. It's the complete opposite. I feel like we keep finding other ways to just be submerged in what we love to do. So
to grow.
Yeah,
I
grow.
think, and I think building your community within your community, you can't expect to have success alone.
Yeah.
Like, I think that most people that do that, I think they end up kind of like screwing themselves. I don't know if that's loud to say, but I think the smartest people that really become successful is they have just like a community around them that of people that are calling them out or pouring life into them, pouring wisdom into them, and you need to have that. And so it doesn't mean that you have to have that right away, but you should be looking into building that, because you should be serving other people, and then having people serve you as well. And one of the things that our mentors always say is, when you get up there, you send the elevator down, meaning we are always going back and like talking to students, serving the students, because at one point we were the students that we had people pour into us and telling us where to go next.
And y'all go and talk at life sometimes, right?
We
They
do.
call us to come out and talk, and then we're
different events.
Yeah, like I'll be talking to a conference in July to women. And so it's always, you have to make sure when you get to the top, don't think that you're like, oh, you're good, you don't need all the people at the bottom. Continue to pour down and pour into them so that everybody can, the tide lifts all boats.
That's awesome. That's a great way to put it. When you get to the top, send the elevator back down. That's awesome.
Well, we thank y'all for coming, for sure. Tuscan, you're on Barrett Parkway.
Right off of I-75 on Bear Parkway, there's a Joanne store for the ladies who like to craft. There's a Golden Cross next to it for the people who like to eat. Home Depot for the boys in the back.
Right, so we got everyone covered.
And TJ Maxx for us shoppers.
That's right.
And then how can our audience reach you? You have a Facebook,
Yeah,
Instagram,
so please
all
follow
that.
us on Instagram. We love to connect with people on there. It's Reach Chiropractic. And then we also have a Facebook page. And obviously, we have our email that everybody can reach out, and our phone number, which is all in our Instagram and Facebook, Reach Chiropractic.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Do you guys have a website that they can visit?
www.reachchiropractor.com, not Reach Chiropractic.
Okay.
Again, reachchiropractor.com.
I love how you messed up on the W's, but English isn't our first language, it's our third. So there are certain things that sometimes it's like, I don't think
like
that's how you
blah, blah, blah.
pronounce that.
And it's so
But,
funny when
yeah.
y'all do that, I swear.
I know that we'll say something wrong, and it's like, it sounds like it should be right, but it's not.
Yeah, my husband loves making fun of us for certain words we say very differently.
Or names we can't pronounce.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, thank you guys so much.
Thank you guys for having us. We had a lot of good laughs and a really fun time.
I always laugh with y'all, so I'm happy. I'm
Thank
happy
you for
about
having
it.
us.
Thank you guys so much. Y'all stay safe.